I just wanted to make sure that I did push the button. Hey guys, welcome to another WIP Wednesday. We are on the couch today.
Yeah, slightly different setup.
We're very relaxed
more laid
because
back.
we're going to have a bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that the title of this WIP Wednesday is Another Update, and there's a period instead of an exclamation point, which means that it might be sad things.
Right.
Anyway, so our stream is over here, so forgive us if we keep
darting that way.
Yeah.
But
so sorry about that, you guys.
But welcome back to another WIP
Wednesday.
I'm Joey.
And I am Lizfaerie, as the title of the channel suggests. But that's a great way to segue into our somewhat serious conversation, I guess, that we're going to start off the day with before we get into the WIPs.
Right. So get the serious part out of the way.
Right. So I don't know if a lot of you guys are aware of the new YouTube rules that are coming in January, because not a lot of people are talking about it, especially not on crafting YouTube. I've definitely not seen anybody talking about it on crafting YouTube, except for in the doll crafting community, because, you know, reasons that will become clear.
Right.
But this set of new rules is essentially kind of a push to like segregate content from that is meant for kids, from like people that are adults watching it, essentially, and kind of like segregating it into the kids app and like removing the there's a lot of things involved in this. But so from all of those kids content videos, they'll be removing the comments from the videos will be demonetized, and they will be essentially they'll be like hidden from view on YouTube. They won't be searchable. Like they won't be the notifications will be turned off, so you won't get notified that videos are being created. So it's essentially they're going to be hiding content from people if they perceive it to be for kids. And this definition of what is for kids comes from this rule that is being currently debated, updated by the FTC, and it has probably the worst definition of children's content that you could think of.
Out of touch.
It's out of touch. It's out of date. It's vague
so
as hell.
It's like
that literally anything at this point could be interpreted as children's content. One of the things, though, making this pertinent to this channel, is that one of the things that will be considered kids content is educational content, and this does extend to craft tutorials on YouTube. Even though we all know that the vast majority of people crafting on YouTube, especially things like crafts that are using knitting needles perhaps, or crochet or sewing and all those sorts of things,
of advanced
those are definitely not going to be done by children.
Yeah.
These are meant for adults. It's adults making the content. It's professionals that are making this content, and it shouldn't be done unless you are a professional. Certainly not a child. Don't give your children needles. Don't give your children lighters, for heaven's sake. It's ridiculous that this is something that is extending to children's content. And just in general, it's a bit of a stupid rule in the first place, because it's kind of, it's a bit silly. There's a lot to this, and there's a lot of people that have made videos on this. You can look for this on YouTube. A lot of people that have talked about this.
Down in the description.
Yeah, I haven't actually put any links for any videos. I will do that after the stream because we were pressed for time. But there is a link in the description to where you can leave a comment to the FTC to express your very, very polite outrage to them about this being a thing that is going to be done. And please be very, very civil to them, because heaven knows that they will be upset if you, like, I don't know, cuss them out or something. But there's also a link to a petition that someone has made that is in the YouTube community that you can add your name to if you would like, that is essentially just saying that you are against this idea. So those will be in the description. And then after the stream, I'll go ahead and put a couple of people's videos talking more about this in a much more eloquent way than I ever probably could, with like, there's just so much
and it's going to affect a lot of people too.
Oh yes, it's going to. We've been talking about it all week of like which kinds of content, because it's extending to literally anyone talking about anything talking about or showing anything that could be perceived as appealing to kids in any way. And this extends to not just what we were just talking about with educational content, but also things like music and bright colors and slang terms
that are really dated slang
oh
terms.
Yeah, it's
that
so
think
funny
that these kids are using.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And animations and anything having to deal with cartoons or what they perceive as like popular, like kids pop
characters.
Culture and stuff like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous how far they're taking this. And the worst part, aside from being cut off from your community as a YouTuber, is that if the FTC finds you in violation, they can sue you as a creator, not sue YouTube, sue you, the person making the videos, for up to $42,000 per video that they find to be in violation of these vague-ass rules that don't define anything clearly and definitely pertain to a lot of content that is not for kids at all. So this is not a good thing, obviously.
No.
And obviously kids are still going to be watching YouTube even if they remove all children-friendly content from YouTube. And is that what we want? Do we want there to be no kid-friendly things that kids are able to watch?
It's just going to limit what people are able to create.
And obviously this de-incentivizes people from making family-friendly content on YouTube. So obviously, with what we were just talking about with tutorials and stuff, that's going to definitely be de-incentivized.
Or just being on YouTube at all. Because some people are going to switch to other platforms if,
definitely
it carries out the way it is.
And speaking of which, I don't want to get sued for $42,000. And as you all might know, I do make doll content on YouTube. And dolls, it's a bit of a naughty word to the FTC. Because it's a toy, and toys are for kids. Anything involving toys, and that involves making them, especially the type of things that I make. For instance, something like this, which is a popular culture character that one could argue is for kids. Of course, no child is going to sit through how many hours of footage is this going to be? No one's going to sit through this and be entertained as a child. Because obviously it's a crochet tutorial, and unless, I guess, the kid is a very enterprising young child that wants to learn to crochet, I guess, which is a possibility, and is a shame that that's being demonized and de-incentivized to the point where the only people that are going to be able to make that type of content are people that can just afford to just do it on their own and not care about being paid and not care about...
So all of us that are small channels that don't have the money to take that type of hit, and so there are bigger channels that, because they focus on a lot of kids type content, that half of their income may just be immediately sliced in half.
I've seen people losing up to 90% of their revenue, which is really sad. There's so many people in the doll community that have posted their sad goodbye video, and you bet that's not going to be in the YouTube Rewind this year. But hopefully this has not been set in stone yet. So definitely go leave your comments to the FTC.
Yeah, check out those links.
Sign the petition. Look it up on YouTube. Google it. Try to educate yourself. There's some conferences that the FTC have held to talk about this. If you want to learn more about it, I'll put some links after the stream so that if you guys catch this after it's gone live, then you guys can look up that information. So
But so this is a big deal, and please everyone go and check,
definitely.
If you care about any like the things that you see on YouTube or any YouTube creators, or or if any of you are YouTube creators, this is a big
deal, and honestly, this could essentially completely destroy the entire YouTube ecosystem if it's left unchecked.
Right.
So I have one more thing to say in regards to this, and this is, I guess, the channel updatey part of it, which is a bit of a shame, and if nothing changes in the foreseeable future, I guess that a lot of the videos that are on the channel I'm going to have to take down. I'm going to leave them through to December. I'm going to, probably after Christmas, I'm going to take a lot of those things down just because I do want you guys to be able to make your dolls for Christmas and all of that stuff. But unfortunately, because all of those videos, I say the word doll in the video, and this algorithm is going to be, picking up on that. And any of those videos could be flagged and I could have to pay this fee, which obviously I can't do.
Ridiculous fee that they're threatening people with, it seems.
Sorry if I'm getting a little bit. Anyway, so a lot of this stuff I'm going to have to put on my Patreon. So if you guys want to join that, it's $1 a month. Yeah. So you guys will still have access to all of these old videos. Yeah,
so we're going to still try and have these videos out.
And then any new video, and then any new doll pattern or video that I want to make will unfortunately probably have to go on Patreon in the future instead of being available for free on YouTube. And I want to try to work out something maybe where if you buy the pattern, I can like email you a link to download the video maybe from my Google Drive or something like that, so that you still have access to it if you aren't on Patreon and you just bought the pattern and you just want to have access to the tutorial.
Right.
So because that's something that I've done a little bit in the past, not with videos, but with patterns, like
just like written patterns.
Yeah, because somebody asked me, I think they like didn't have enough like ink or something to print out all the pictures in the pattern, so they had me like remove a bunch of pictures from the pattern and just send them a text version. So I've done stuff like that in the past. So if that's something that would be possible, hopefully that's something that I can do so that you guys can still have access to these doll videos. But unfortunately that also means that I'm probably going to have to be making a lot less doll content on the channel as well, and that means that the channel's probably going to have to change. And also the other thing, which is a real shame because it just changed, but I might have to change the name of the channel because another thing that's for kids is, aside from crafts, which is also in the channel name, is fantasy.
Yeah,
so
anything fantasy themed.
I guess I can't be a fairy anymore because it's for children. And I don't want that to be the case because I really love that name. Yeah, it's the name I've been going by for a long time.
I think that we should try
and I really want to try to keep it, but I just don't know if that's going to flag me as for kids, especially with the logo that I have being animated. So if anything, I'll change so that it's just Lizfaerie maybe instead of Lizfaerie Crafts, and then I might just change it to a boring picture of my face instead of
just a disgruntled face in protest.
In protest. No, but I might end up just having my own face, I guess, as my picture so that I don't get labeled as for children. I'm for children.
I know, right?
It's ridiculous. But so hopefully that's not something that has to happen because there's still time. There's still a chance that this doesn't end up going the way
they can see how naive they are being in these types of like regulations and policies that they're trying to set out.
Seriously. But hopefully that doesn't have to happen because I really don't want to have to put all of my content behind a paywall. I really don't want to have everything on Patreon only and to not even be able to tell you guys about this stuff that I'm making. Because that's another thing is if you want to even know that I'm making doll content, you have to follow me on a different platform. Like you have to follow me just on Facebook or on Instagram instead of on YouTube. Because if I even talk about dolls,
they essentially blacklist you.
Then so I'm going to be for
even
kids.
If you try to specifically search for like the videos, it won't pop up. Like it just becomes unsearchable.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like I can't even make a video being like, "Hey guys, I made a doll, but I'm not going to show it to you." Like if I talk about a doll, that's children's content. You know what I mean? So I guess follow me on Instagram at Lizfaerie and follow me on Facebook, Fairy Rings. And I think that's it.
That's it for now.
That's it for now. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Patreon, obviously. Yeah. Patreon is still Fairy Rings as well. And I think that's it for now. You can also maybe friend me on Ravelry, and then you'll see all of my patterns, I assume. So, friend me on Ravelry. Am I Fairy Rings on Ravelry? I think I'm Fairy Rings on Ravelry. If not, I'm Lizfaerie. Look them both up. I don't know. So that's it about that for now.
Yeah, so let's put that behind us for now.
Okay, and now let's just talk about the WIPs.
Yeah.
And I did just show you guys this guy. This is the tutorial that I'm working on. This is probably going to be my last for kids doll video that comes out this month and then into December because it's a long video, so there's going to be a few parts. Right. So look forward to that. It's finally done. I've been working on this for 4 years.
Yeah, from the first time you randomly made a...
Well, the first prototype I made 4 years ago. So it's been a journey, but this is finally a tutorial instead of just a random doll that I made.
Yeah.
And it looks so much better. Maybe I will do a little glow up video just to show you guys the changes that I've made over the years, because that might be cool. I have a couple of dolls that I've done like that too, so that might be cool to do with a couple of videos, like the Ponyta and, of course, the Yoshi. And then I also have this baby Yoshi and the Yoshi egg with the Yoshi baby inside. That these are also tutorials that I made earlier. Then I made this Yoshi adult. So now the entire set is going to be finished finally. Well, I shouldn't say the entire set, because maybe in the future I want to make Birdo.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But yeah, here's the little family so far, and they are they're getting pretty close to being complete. So let me show you guys a closer view of these little guys. Here is Yoshi, and here's the babes. Oh, wait, where's my camera?
I know, right? We're upside down perspective.
And here is another baby. Yeah, because we have a different setup. I'm a little not used to it.
Yeah, let us know how you guys like this setup too.
I just kind of wanted to be on the couch today.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's our current Yoshi stuff, and then also the egg. Obviously, I kind of went a little ham on the spots on this egg, maybe a little too far. Some of them are a little close. Some of them are a little too close together, so they're almost touching. But I still think it looks okay.
No, that's good.
So I'm like truly crazy about how this Yoshi came out, though. And the pattern is already available, but I have made a couple of changes to it since I posted it on Ravelry, as I am wont to do. So take it with a grain of salt if you get the pattern before the tutorial comes out. But the first episode of the tutorial is going to come out in about a week. I just finished it today, so it's going on Patreon tonight. So if you want it early, you can check that out.
Nice.
But it's going to go on YouTube next week, and then part 2 in 2 weeks, and part 3 in 3 weeks. So hopefully you guys will have time to finish it for Christmas stuff. That's the plan anyway. Let's have a look at these little babes closer up so that you guys can...
Their little sleepy eyes.
Yeah, that's the classic Yoshi look, though, is to have a sleepy expression. Okay. So... the next thing, oh yeah, and I should probably mention the next thing, because we're talking about fabric next. The first of the fabric is this. This is inside out. Let me turn it so that you can see what it actually looks like.
Is there a convenient spot to
there we go.
Oh, there it is.
So this is what it actually looks like. You can barely tell the difference. It's just a little bit more of a saturated
a wee bit more vibrant.
It's a very frosty blue floral print that I really like. It's actually
there's kind of like some mint greens in there a little bit too.
So it's an old sheet that I thrifted. And I was going to use it to make a mock-up of a dress, but I just like it so much that I want to try to maybe make the dress actually work.
Into pieces.
Well, I feel guilty about making a mock-up of it without knowing if it's going to work.
Right, totally.
So I want to make my mock-up with a different material. So I actually got some mock-up material. We have this purple one. And the reason why, I will show it to you in a moment.
Purple that looks kind of blue.
Yeah, well, all the purples look blue on this camera. Right? But so the reason I got this purple specifically, and I will show it to you in a moment, is because I've been working on a bodice block made of that nice silky dark purple material that we thrifted a few months ago. Right. But it made me very angry, and it was not a very nice fabric to work with. It was very slippery, a bit stretchier than you would want it to be. Right. So I got some plain cotton in the same color because I was angry at that material and I wanted to try again using something easier. So it's just a plain cotton material. It looks very blue for some reason, but it is not blue. It's more of a dark like violet color. Yeah. I don't know why every time violet
it's that
looks,
shade. Yeah.
It's every time that shade of purple always looks like navy on this camera for some reason, but it's not. Rest assured, it's not. So now I also got same thing, but this one,
Yeah,
oh wow,
green.
it's so much darker on the camera than it is in real life. But it's a nice hunter green. That's a little bit more accurate. Maybe I should try that with the purple, see if it can see it a little better. A little bit, but barely.
Still looks blue.
Sometimes it can see it more accurately toward the edge.
Like on the edges of the fabric.
If I put it real close, you can kind of... no, not this time, I guess. Well, that's okay. So, this is a nice dark hunter green. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. I got it to make a mock-up of this little corset top thingy that I have, that I have not shown you guys yet, because we have not filmed our thrift hauls yet. And that's something that's probably going to be, sorry if I smacked the camera a little, or the microphone a little bit there, you guys. But that's something that's probably going to be a little bit more frequent on the channel, is more thrifting and sewing content. Because I feel like fashion is maybe safe. I feel like maybe fashion isn't for kids.
It's highbrow enough to be considered adult.
Although I gotta be careful about talking about colors, I guess.
I know, right? Can't just be all muted colors.
I know, right? We can only make gray clothes. I'm sorry, we're adults. Speaking of which, I got this black.
I know, right?
I got a ton of it because I'm an adult. The other ones I only got 2 yards. This one I got 5, because who doesn't always need black cotton?
Yeah, it's just going to come up. Yeah,
does.
no, black and white, you're going to need more of those than anything else.
Definitely.
Just because.
So, here is our black material. I don't really have to show it too close, because you know what black looks like.
I know,
it looks like black on the
camera.
camera.
It's a giant sheet of black. You guys get the concept.
Okay, so that's our fabric journey. And continuing our fabric journey, let me show you the errant bodice. So these are the 2 bits that worked. This is the back of the bodice. The darts actually worked, and that's why it's a good boy. They're still a little puffy right here.
That shows so dark.
But oh wow, that looks really dark. Because this is another purple that looks blue. This one looks actually a little purpler than the other one does. That's funny. Anyway, so if I put it this way, maybe you can. What is the orientation of this? Where is up? Where is down? I don't understand. There we go.
What's going on?
Okay, so you can kind of see there's a shape there that looks like a neckline and an armhole. I don't remember which is which. Oh wait, no, this is the back because it's pinned down. Yeah. So this is the back line and this is the armhole. The armhole definitely is not shaped correctly. You can kind of, if any of you sew, you can probably tell that there's something wrong here. So it kind of worked, but kind of not. I think it kind of comes, like it swoopies up a little bit somewhere. And I don't know. So there's some things wrong with it. Here, let me actually switch here because I feel like it's a better idea. It's
easier to be able to
show you the whole panel.
Yeah.
So get over here.
We're still figuring the setup out.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So this is what this one looks like. I don't really need to show you this other one, but here it is. It's the same. It's just backwards. Oh yeah, and for the liner, I was going to use this space print that I had left over from my space skirt,
it's
but
the more interesting looking side.
But the bodice didn't work, so I ended up kind of probably wasting the last of my space fabric. And now I'm probably gonna just have to use the boring purple fabric to line the inside of it. Oh well, that's what happens when you don't make a proper bodice block, and that's why we're making a bodice block. So, speaking of bodice block, here's my bodice block. But this is a scaled down version that I have not quite finished yet. Where is it? Where are you? Come back. Ah, there you are. So we're going to show you guys some sensitive information, which is my measurements. Yikes.
Oh my.
So here we are. There's my measurements. Don't look at them too closely. But here is my little scaled down bodice block so far. I've not finished it yet. You can barely see it because it's in pencil. But I'm making an 8th scaled down version of it just to test the theory first. And then I'm going to make a not 8th scale version of it that in theory is my actual size. Yeah. The hope too is at making this 8th scale version is that maybe it'll fit one of the dolls. Oh, I shouldn't say that word. Oh, no, I've already said it 1,000 times in this stream, so it's fine. We're already demonetized and flagged.
Right. Unavoidable.
Okay. So, I haven't quite finished it yet. There's still a couple of things that I haven't done. Like, I don't think I've done the armholes yet at all. I've just done the necklines on the back and on the front. I've marked where the bust is, and I've marked where the waist is, and all that stuff. I've probably gotten about halfway done with this little scale model. But I have so much stuff always going on, as you guys know.
Right.
So...
Constantly juggling.
Okay, and now here's the errant part of the bodice block after we had that lovely little break, because this is the one that I am angry with. I am still very angry because I've sewn and unpicked these darts probably 7 or 8 times, and every time they worked badly. And of course, because I unpicked them and they're darts and this fabric is terrible, I had to iron it too many times. Really, to me though, 1 time is too many. But that's because I'm a terrible person and I am not as good about ironing as I should be. But that being said, let's look at how terrible this looks. So I ended up having to sew a lot of it by hand. I haven't actually done this side yet because it's just a lot because I'm sewing it by hand. I ended up having to sew it by hand to even get the darts to even kind of sort of lie properly, and they still weren't lying properly, and I think it's just because I made this middle part too big, so then I ended up trying to like fold it and pleat it to try to get it to the right size, but because I'm hand sewing and I'm a mess, it's not straight and it looks terrible, and I'm not a fan of it.
Well, D says hello.
Hey D.
Hey D.
Glad you can make it for the for part of the stream. There's still a little bit more that we've got to show.
We got a bit.
We've got a bit to show. So, I could unpick this, and I could iron it, and I could do it all over again. I could do that. But will I? I don't know.
Do you really want to? No.
There's so much hand sewing, and I did too good of a job, and I know it's going to be hellish to unpick this. So... if only I had done that good of a job at making it straight and making it look good, then that would have been better. But I did a terrible job, and now here we are. So yeah, this is unfortunately not gonna work.
Yeah.
What was happening before, I think, was... that was really unfortunate was no matter what I did, the darts were always coming out super pointy. And I know that you're supposed to like have it not go all the way to the dart point or whatever to make it not do that. It was still doing it. It was still doing it. And no matter what I did, it would just be pointy, but just not where my nipples are.
Just the point would move.
It would just be pointy somewhere else, and there was no way that I could get it to flatten out. And it's like the act of making the dart was warping the fabric if I did it with the machine. So I switched to hand, and that kind of fixed it, but then it was just wonky and not straight. So there was just there's a lot of problems, and it's because I didn't make a block, and it's all my fault, and I deserve this. So we're going to make our block, and then we're going to redo this. Thankfully, I have a ton of this dark purple fabric left, so hopefully I can get this to work. And if the darts are naughty again, then I might have to hand sew them. But I think this has given up the ghost, essentially, and I'm gonna have to draft my block and then go back to the drawing board for this, which... there's so much in here. Sorry if I'm messing up the mic cord a little bit. But yeah, it's a shame that the bodice didn't work because the skirt worked beautifully.
Yeah.
The skirt is all done. It has pockets. The pockets are lovely. They're like... in the side seams, they're really nice deep pockets. I made them to fit my phone in them. And unfortunately, the pockets are the space print, so it's unfortunate that the liner isn't going to match the pockets because I used it all. But it's okay. And if I can't get a bodice to work, I can always make this into a skirt on its own, but I need a waistband, and I hate waistbands, but that's okay. We can do it. It's fine. But... probably going to have to try to cheat with some elastic if that has to be the case, because I don't want to deal with it. But the skirt worked really great though, and that's a shame about the bodice. But that's why we make a bodice block, and that's what we will do next time. Thank you, Dee. I love the color of this fabric so much.
Yeah,
that's the main reason why I wanted to make this dress, was because of the color of
why all the excitement was there.
And why all the crushing disappointment. But it's okay. I have plenty of extra fabric though, so hopefully I can get the bodice to work when I do make a block. On to the rest of the content. Let's go into... let's do this because I keep crushing him. Well, revenge.
I know, right? He's like, I'll get you back.
And its head is full of pins. So my skeleton fellow is getting closer to completion. Since I saw you guys last, really all that I've done is I've started working on the ribs, and I think they came up very impressive, so I'm going to show them to you.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for how nice the entire thing is going to probably look once the entire rib cage is done. So let me show you guys. Where are we? There we are.
Ta-da.
Okay.
There it is.
So here is my skeleton fellow so far. Do you think skeletons are for children? What if it's a model or a figure instead of a toy? Can we beat the algorithm?
I know, that's what we got to do. We got to blur the line.
But are skeletons for children, despite the fact that not just children have skeletons? But anyway, here's this rib cage. Where are you guys? There you are. Here's this rib cage. I crocheted around the arms and the legs, and that's what gave them this thickness, but I really wanted to make the ribs as skinny as possible, so I actually embroidered them. And you can see they are a lot thinner than the arms and legs are. And these two are the floaty unattached ribs, but this third one that I've done half of is going to be one of the ribs that's like a full piece, and then I'm going to fill in the, what is that bone called?
It's your sternum?
Yeah, that's the guy. All right. Then I'm going to fill in the sternum to attach all of these ones together. But the idea is that I'm going to fill this one in up to there, and then kind of sew it to the other one at the end so that they're attached as one solid rib piece, and then do the same thing with all of them, and then sew them all together to form the sternum.
Nice.
The pelvic bone is still a bit of a mystery. We haven't figured out how we're gonna do that yet.
Just some little metal bits.
Yeah, I did the little tail though.
That's cute. No, I like the tail a lot.
So yeah, it's getting pretty close to completion. I'm not sure if I'm going to bother with embroidering a lot of the detail lines on, because this skelly fellow will actually be fully clothed.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to make it.
So I don't know if I want to give myself too much work and add too much bulk to the doll, because I don't want it to be too thick with the armor layered on top. So we shall see whether I do that, whether I decide to be as extra as I always am. But yeah, it looks pretty good so far. Thank you, Dee.
He says, "Wow, impressive." It is. No, I like that skeleton a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to try to make one of these for the channel, actually, because this is a lot more of a simple design than my current skeleton tutorial, so I think this will be a lot more of a beginner-friendly skeleton, which I think people would appreciate, because a lot of my skeleton content is way too complicated.
Skeletons are complicated.
They are, it's true. But it would be nice to have a more cartoony, like cutesy skeleton that's a little easier, more basic, more easy for beginners, that sort of thing. And this one, I think, is a pretty good design. It's kind of similar to the Marceline tutorial that I have on the channel that will probably not be on the channel for very much longer. Right. But, so much content. But anyway, it's a similar technique to that, except I didn't, like, sew any of the stitches together to make it have a more rounded shape, which I did in the Marceline video. And also the way that I made Olaf's stick arms and stick hair is very similar to what I did for the skeleton bones for this doll design. So, let's move this guy off the stage. I'll just put you over here for now. Let's lay you down right there.
Yeah,
How
right?
about that?
Stick him up there.
Well, when I was working on it the other day, I actually had him sitting over here. Okay. Let's just go into these real quick because I just found these in my unfinished object bag.
Your lost soul.
And they're here. Let me.
Or our lost souls.
Yeah, our lost souls.
Yeah, right. That sounds better. Oh.
But here they are.
We found them.
These are made out of hemp twine.
Yeah.
And I used the same technique that I used in my slipper boots video, but just way smaller because the yarn is thinner. I think in that video I used a chunky yarn, and these are a lot thinner than a chunky yarn. And then I think I also did an extra row of single crochet around the edge outsides, to give it like a little length maybe potentially. Yeah. And there's a memory foam insole inside of here. And then I also did this top layer, and I just sandwiched those together, and then I stitched them together here with some matching yarn. And now I have these pretty nice insoles.
Yeah, no, I think
that's pretty nice bottoms. Cool. Some nice bottoms for
build
some
slippers or sandals with those.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that, but I just never got around to it. I don't know why. But let me show you guys these.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
So here is that layer. And let me show you guys the hemp layer. So it's pretty thick and solid, and I feel like it would stand up to a good amount of abuse as far as
I'm sure
as
that
far
would
as
work,
like walking around and stuff.
That would be a totally legit like outside slipper.
Yeah, these are definitely not my size though. They are kind of too big for me. So they're not for me.
I know, right? What size are they? They're not my size. They'd be too small for me.
Yeah, they might be somebody's size, but it's a mystery. But
just finish them and size them, and then we'll have like a size whatever shoe to sell.
It looks like a peanut.
On the underside, yeah.
Doesn't it look like a peanut, y'all?
Totally. You can put some embroidery on it just to make it straight up look like the Planner's Peanut Man.
I know, right? That would be funny. But that's the bottom, though. You don't want to mess up that poor Peanut Man's face.
Well, I suppose. But what if you tried to like leave an imprint of him, like wherever you walked? So if you were to walk in the sand, there would just be like a bunch of little peanut dudes.
That'd be really creepy. For like somebody that came afterward and just saw a bunch of little peanut men in the sand.
That would be weird.
It would be like, but
and that's the fun of the show.
Just to mess with people. Yeah. But you don't get to see it because you've gone.
Yeah, well, you could like sneak off and get some binoculars and like watch from afar.
Why? Why would anyone do such a thing?
It's a way to spend an afternoon.
I guess. It's a way for someone to spend an afternoon.
People do weirder things.
I guess that's true, but I don't know if that's a bar to like set. I don't know if I feel like it's a pretty low bar.
All right, we're getting silly here.
It's late. What do I even have? Oh yeah. There's just a bunch of shirts in here that I think I've already shown y'all, but they were already in here from before. So, but the one that I have not shown y'all is from, it's so sad that it's been so long since we've seen you guys, because this is from my unicorn Halloween costume that we haven't talked to you guys since before Halloween. Wow. Yeah, because there was blackouts, then Joey got switched to a night shift.
And then I randomly did.
Then he didn't. But yeah, there's been a lot, and now we're like pretty stressed about this.
And now we're reeling about all this.
Yeah, all of this COPPA stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty stressful. So while we're still talking about some yarn things, here is my unfinished costume tail that I made for the unicorn. I just I cheated and I just did the outside. So you can see the outside kind of has that like nice kind of hair texture that the wig that I showed you guys a few weeks ago had, but the inside, if we just open it up, that's just yarn. Hey, I was going to do the whole thing, but I did run out of time.
Yeah, no,
I very ran out of time. But I really love how this one came out, though. I think I did a better job of distributing the color on the tail than I did on the wig.
That's funny.
But I did make the tail after, so I had more experience. But the way that the light shades are all on the top and the dark shades are all on the bottom, ugh, beautiful, beautiful. I wish I had made the whole wig this way, but I didn't. Maybe in the future I will try to make the wig again, because
keep the lessons learned from making that.
Heaven knows that wig did not go well. There was a lot of issues with that, and I want to show you guys that video, but I don't know, will that get flagged? Because I mean, unicorns, fantasy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of that is children's content, so I don't even know if I can even show you guys my unicorn stuff anymore, or if it's going to stay on the channel. Anyway, I am going to post stuff through December, as I said, so some of this stuff maybe will be December content. I don't know. Oh, this is Inside Out. I will not show it to you guys until it is. Oh, no, wait, it's not. It's not. What in the world am I talking about? Anyway,
crazy.
So along with that tail for the unicorn costume, and of course the wig, another thing that I made that I still haven't finished. I haven't finished a lot of this stuff.
It's juggling. All the balls are still up in the air.
I needed it to be finished enough, but as a lot of people that maybe make YouTube videos will know, you just film it until you have the footage. You don't have to do any more of it. It's fine. It looks good. It's finished. No one knows. You know what I mean? And that makes it a little easier to get the content out in less than like 2 months. But especially for crafting content. But here is my shirt that I made. She's gorgeous. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's glorious. She's not finished yet though. But I want to show you guys this closer up because and I'll probably actually get rid of us so that I can show it to you less confusingly. Yeah. So let's go. All right, we're gone. We'll be back, don't worry. But here is this little shirt that I got.
Cute little unicorn t-shirt.
And also that we saw. Topical. I got it from the kids section. Oh, I know, what? Right? It's for children, obviously. All unicorns are for children.
Well, and then
so that's what the shirt looked like, and then I kind of added to it. And here's this mess.
Yeah, no, that came out really cool.
Yikes, there's a lot. But it looks really good. I'm happy with how it came out. So what I ended up doing was I did a bunch of embroidered flowers just all around the edges here. Or I shouldn't say embroidered leaves because that's more what it is. So I did a bunch of embroidered leaves all around the edges, all the way around it, on the entire thing, even on the back, which I did not finish it entirely. And you can see the raw edge on the back is still right here. But on the front, there is no raw edge. Why is that? It's because I Irish crocheted the entire edge together, joining the Irish crochet leaves that I added to the embroidered leaves that are set onto the shirt. So I kind of used the embroidered leaves as like a sort of foundation chain, and then I crocheted on top. So it's like a hybrid of embroidery and crochet lace. And look at this cute little flower that I made. This is like the best flower. That's why I want
Look at that one.
Look at it. It's beautiful. All the other ones are like, you know, they're like little.
Hey, Demon Lee's here.
Lazy daisies. Hi, Demon Lee. And this one's cute too, but you know. But yeah, so it's sort of, oh hey, yeah, Demon Lee's here. I'm sorry, I was very distracted.
So it's just Demon Lee. In the thicket of flowers.
I know. I was wading through this jungle here. But so yeah, it's like a hybrid embroidery crochet project essentially. So I just set all of these embroidered things in, and then you can see kind of here I just grabbed the edge of the embroidery as I was working along with my chain, and that forms the edge of the shirt.
Yeah, that came out super cool.
And then also I did add a lot of little crocheted leaves coming off of the embroidery and like popping out over here, and then I grabbed those as well as I was working around with my chain. So it's sort of like Irish lace, but it's also sort of just embroidery. Yeah. So it's both. And that
it has the popping out of the picture frame type aesthetic.
Oh yeah, and it completely changed the shirt.
Yeah, it definitely transformed it.
It's like night and day. And let's look at those those stitches on the back again, just for funsies, because that'll be fun when it's completed. And all of this I did with scrap yarn too, by the way. Yeah. This is another thing that is a bit interesting that I don't know if you guys have ever Oh, hey, Dee says that she's going to lose internet access at the end of the month. Well, we'll miss you, Dee. I hope that you're able to get back online somehow at some point.
Totally.
But make sure that you pop in if you do get internet back.
we'll be trying to keep stuff posted. Liz is actually going to be taking another little vacation at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's something else that maybe we should talk about at the end of the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I never really shook that cough. I know it's been a month.
It's kind of hard where we're at too. It's
been really cold lately too.
Cold here. So that shirt was cool. Are these other shirts?
Yeah, these are other shirts that I was going to originally just put some crochet edging on them, but now I'm not so sure. Well, this one I have showed you guys before. It's a stupid fake tour shirt, which I hate. I hate fake tour shirts. So I was going to get rid of the fake tour back. I'm not even going to show it because it looks stupid. But the front looks really cute. It's like cute, like sea life type of situation. Yeah. It's real pretty. But the back is stupid. It's a fake tour shirt. I hate fake tour shirts. So I'm essentially going to try to do the same thing that I did with this unicorn shirt, except maybe with like more of a coral reef aesthetic because it's like, the sea life. And basically, I kind of just want to get rid of the whole back panel
make it like a
and do the entire
almost.
Back panel in lace and in lace and with embroidery coming off the edges of the shirt. So basically I'm going to embroider around the front panel the same way that I did with this one, except with more of a coral reef motif, and then I will work the crochet lace off of the front panel to make up the back panel again. Nice. So hopefully I'll have time to do that eventually with all the other thousands of things I have to do. And then there's this other one, which is one of my spooky shirts that I have to finish.
Yeah, this one.
So this one, I want to do a similar thing. I was going to do a spider web type of thing, but I'm just not sure if I want to do that, just because it would be such thin thread, and I feel like it would be too problematic to like wash it. So I'm not really sure what to do with the spooky shirt. Maybe I'll still do like a spidery web-ish type of thing, but maybe just instead of using a thin thread, I'll just use a slightly thicker, like, I just got that alpaca yarn. Maybe I could use that.
Yeah, that might work.
Anyway, so hopefully these shirts will go well. I also have this Disney Princess one, but I did the top already with just a plain row, so I'm probably going to do the sides.
That was like one of the first times you did that, huh?
Yeah, so this one, and I feel like maybe it would be too busy if I tried to do something like lace flowers or something with the way that the print of the shirt is. It's really busy print. Yeah, so that one I'm just going to do a plain row on. And I think that's everything that we have for this week. Just gonna throw all this stuff back. So
yeah, thanks for joining us for another WIP Wednesday.
So as Joey just said a few minutes ago, I am going to be taking another mini vacation in a couple of weeks.
Visit family for the holidays.
Yeah, well, also my mom just she's going to be moving into a new house, so I'm going to go down to try to help her with that a little bit, just to help her move and like pack and stuff like that. So
super exciting.
So I will be gone for maybe a month or two, but I'm going to try to be continuing to post stuff while I'm gone. I'm going to try to pre-record a bunch of stuff and just post it while I'm gone.
Yeah, through December and everything.
And I might maybe try to do, like, instead of us having a WIP Wednesday stream, maybe I'll do like Wednesday vlogs that I can just post from my phone or something like that for you guys, just on my own, I guess.
Yeah,
so
I'll be absent from those. I'll still be here when you come back.
I mean, I would hope so.
When I go down to get you and bring you back.
I guess, yeah, because you're gonna go down and get me and bring me back. So I assume you would be here when we got back. Because how else would I be here?
That's a conundrum.
Okay. Again,
yeah. For those that didn't,
if you guys didn't catch the beginning of the stream. Yeah, again, make sure that you go to...
And just educate yourself on all this COPPA
all of this COPPA stuff that's going on. If you guys haven't heard of this, look it up. COPPA, COPPA, and the FTC, and what's going on with YouTube right now. It's very, 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 very important if you watch any sort of YouTube content. And I'm going to put some links in the description after the stream, because I just don't have that. I don't have any videos explaining any of this stuff, and there's other people that have made videos, so I'll try to link those after.
Definitely, they're well researched and eloquently spoken.
Yeah, and in the description, there is a link to where you can comment to the FTC once again, and also a link to where you can sign the petition that is against this whole business. And don't forget to do that. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be it for us this time. So Demonly says we look tired, or Digo says we look tired, and Demonly says that we should get some rest.
I know, right?
I agree with that. And and so that's gonna be
stop
it
the stream and brew a pot of coffee.
Seriously, that is what we're going to do. Okay, you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Let me get my hand on this button here so that I can actually look at you guys as I'm saying goodbye. Okay, here we are.
So thanks again for stopping by. Thanks for chatting, leaving anything in the comments. We appreciate all of you guys that have been, watching us, over however long you've been watching us.
For as long as we've been doing this, really, with you guys.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So, we'll see you guys hopefully next week. Maybe I'll have gotten some work done.
Yeah, we'll see.
Bye, you guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Good night.